Hey everybody, I'm Dave. Welcome to Hearts of Wulin No Mercy, a three-part love letter to the Karate Kid, Cobra Kai, and 80 sort of action team movies. I have taken tremendous liberties with Lowell Francis's incredibly culturally sensitive and balanced game to try and create a very specific genre. So my apologies to Lowell. Support source as part of our game. We are using X cards, which people will shout X if we go over any particular lines or territory we're uncomfortable with. We have set up prior to coming on camera lines in Veil, so we know where people's identified touch points are, but that's a living document. We're also using the script change tool, which means we can pause, rewind, fast forward as is appropriate. Okay, I've got four players with me today. Two of them are people who have played Hearts of Wulin before. Two of them are brand new, and they've come aboard for my merry little hack. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves in character keeper order and give us a brief overview of the character. And then I'm going to sort of swing back on a couple of sort of questions for these characters and other players. If there's anything you think you want to know more about, we want to ask these things as well. We've already established some NPCs. Other than that, let's kick some ass. So, Stephen, can I come to you first, please?
Yes, I'm playing William Santini, the Outsider Playbook. He is the Latchkey Kid, and he's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder. His dad went to jail several years ago, and I mean, he's been acting out. He got a bit of a reputation as a fighter, a bit of a bully. His mother was single mom. She was working long hours, paying restitution. She didn't have a lot of time, but he started training with Frank Kim at the Crimson Dragon Dojo, and he developed a bit of discipline. I mean, the Crimson Dragon, they teach you that they teach you to win fights. It's a very aggressive dojo, but they also teach you discipline, and discipline is what William needed. So he still gets into fights at school occasionally. He's still more likely to throw the first punch than the second, but he's not getting in trouble as often. And like, and he's really good at it. I think I've got a chance at winning the All Valley Championship. And if I do that, maybe I can get an athletics scholarship to a good school, which that'll help my mom out so much. And after all she's been through, I've got to do this for her.
Cool. Now, the Latchkey Kid is a rewrite of one of the original archetypes in the game. You're often left to fend for yourself and are well known by the folks in the neighborhood. What's the name of the neighborhood that you frequent and you're from, William?
Palm side.
Homicide. And is it a well-to-do, middle class,
It's sort of seedy
or
middle
blue collar?
class.
What does it feel like?
It's like the homes here, they used to be nice when they were built in the 50s,
Cool.
but
It's what the American press would refer to as working class.
Blue collar, yeah, working class. Cool. And what was it your father used to do?
he used to work at a car dealership, and he embezzled some money from them. I mean, it was actually Madison and Anderson's father. He found it out. His testimony sent my dad to jail.
Cool. And is your dad is he though he's in jail, is he still in your life, or is he kicked to the curb, Tony?
He's still sort of in my life. He's not much of a presence, but my mom hasn't divorced him, so I'll visit him in jail every once in a while. But it's like I'm
Cool.
I'm mad at him.
And what does Teresa do for a living now?
I mean, she was a housewife. Originally, my dad was one of the salesmen. He was making a good living. I mean, now she's actually working at the car dealership as a receptionist.
Forgiving owner at that car dealership, right? So obviously got a heart of gold, or a villainous endeavor. Both are probable in this game. Great. I've got my answers. Does anyone see anything else they would like William to expand upon for them?
Do you have
And
any
just
siblings? Do you have any siblings?
No, only child. And also my other moves, I chose Heroes Shed No Tears, which when I roll a hit on inner conflict, I get to choose witnesses and get a bit of an advantage against them. And I chose All Men Are Brothers, which means that I can appear as another faction to people who don't know the truth, and they'll accept this until something happens to expose me.
Awesome. Brilliant. So the other thing to note for players is in Hearts of Wulin, every session we highlight the entanglement we most want to see to come in play. So give it a different background color on your keeper so we can all keep an eye on it. That's partly my responsibility, also partly other player responsibility to help us achieve our entanglement aims.
Yeah, so I'll highlight my sensei, Frank Kim, has passed me over in favor of new student Angelica. And my other entanglement is I have a crush on Madison, but their father's testimony put my dad in jail, and my mother will hit the roof if she finds out.
Awesome. Let's move on to Anderson, played by Ares.
So yeah, my name is Aris. I'm playing Anderson. He's younger, quite a bit younger than the others. He just joined his academy after his sister because he always goes around her and tries to protect her from any problems, even though he's way younger, and she probably can protect him much better than he could protect her. He's short, he's thin, and he has this gigantic baseball hat that he turns around all the time and plays with, and he claims it gives him extra strength when he turns it to the back. He's just a lucky go-getter. Like he believes in everyone's goodwill. Like, for example, Tommy is a bully at school. He's much older than him, and he's a total bully. And for some reason, some new kid called William stands up for him lately. William must be a really good person, and he has no other reason to do it. So what I picked, my role is a student and a younger sibling move. You will soon know who's my bigger sister. My other two moves are Rage and Passion. I go around and try to fix things, basically. And the other one is Smiling Proud Wanderer. I'm just like a kid. I just ask questions about everything and look at everything as if it was like, wow, just wow.
So I think this is a question that needs to be shared between Anderson and Madison, who's played by Jim here, but we haven't really defined your parents here. We know that your dad is the hero of the hour who put the shady Tony Santini down. So we've got a name for your dad.
Oh, so what we know about, I think what we know about my dad is that he was actually involved. And he flipped so that he wouldn't get prosecuted. Like basically he turned state's evidence in exchange for immunity.
I don't think we know his name though. Like it's just dad and mom, and you never see their face too.
But I think mom left him after that. So I think we've got it's like she moved back across the country.
So you're with your dad and your mum's out of the scene. Is that
Yeah. Hmm.
that's the case?
Yeah.
Gosh, I bet that's in a conflict with your mum leaving you with a known crook. But if he was involved in embezzlement, he's presumably not at the car dealership, then, is he?
No, he doesn't work for that car dealership anymore. I think he's now I think he is, you know what, probably he's working at like one of those auto parts stores.
Maybe he's
right?
between jobs right now.
I want him to be employed. I
Yeah?
don't want him
Okay.
to be unemployed. But I think he's like the assistant manager at like an auto parts store now. So it's like a blue collar retail.
Yeah.
He's got to work 70 hours a week. He makes enough for us to eat and be like, we're okay. But it's because he's like basically at work all the time.
So Anderson and Madison's dad. I'd like to give him a name, not just dad, because I mean I've got a surname for
Sure.
you.
He's Chuck.
Chuck. Awesome. I can see the shirt with Chuck on it and a little round badge.
Yep.
Sewn on and everything.
Arez, do you have a last name for us that you like?
I want something as normal as like totally normal, and like Jones maybe. It's
Sure.
like as basic as it gets.
That's cool.
Right. Well, Chuck Jones is a famous animator.
Oh yeah.
So,
Hey, we've already got May Parker. I think we can have Chuck
That's
Jones
fine.
as well.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah.
all right.
Jones is
and
cool.
and you are both part of you're both of the Brock Hunter Action Defense
Academy. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Run by a former 80s action movie star who now runs a franchise of.
Yeah, and our sensei is May. I gave her the last name Rothstone. There's a picture of her down on my down on the bottom there.
Cool.
And speaking of former action stars, you may recognize that is in fact Cynthia Rothrock, who I've used as our sensei there. But I think she's like a former stunt woman. She's a former stunt woman. That like one of the things that Brock likes to do is set up people he used to work with these franchises, I think. So we probably met like Brock a couple of times when he's come to visit, but mostly it's May who's responsible for.
Yeah, May's cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I had such a crush on Cynthia Rothrock back.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's excellent. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome. But anyway,
yes, madam.
let's go across to Angelica, played by Karen.
Right. Angelica is an intense, high-performing girl. She very high GPA, very engaged in every single social activity every extracurricular activity she can. Her parents are both self-made people, and her grandmother had a particular connection with her grandmother, who is dead now and did all manner of like. Her grandson, when she regularly talks to in her head and disappears to sort of think about it when she feels low. She would never ever admit to feeling low to anyone else, because there's only one person in the family who gets to feel low, and that's her brother Tommy. Tommy is a couple of years older, the bad sheep, bully, gets away with everything that Angelica would. No, Angelica would never want to do anything like that. Angelica's got far too busy. Her parents say they just want her to be happy, and they know that what will make her happy is being very successful. So that's why she's got to work as hard as she does. Her dad, Alexander, is a brain surgeon. Her mum, Sophia, is a rocket scientist. And that's the kind of a sort of trajectory they kind of plan for her. She's relatively new to martial arts in this kind of, she's just joined the Crimson Dragon Dojo. which is the most aggressive fighting school in town. And that's out of a level of competition in terms of if she's going to do it, she's going to do it this way. But it's also because she has a grudge against William Santini. She's got a belief that somehow Madison is going to like respect and like her more if somehow she can beat up William. Who knows why? But it's also like she's very protective of her brother Tommy. Not that she likes him, but she kind of swore to her grandmother that she would look after this deadbeat brother because, quote unquote, there's things about him you just don't understand.
So, Tommy, our All Valey champion, has dark secrets. We might end up running into passion to passion by the end of this as well. Angelica, I missed your parents' names there. Can you
Alexander and Sophia. Sorry.
No, it's me. My brain just didn't catch them. Right, so that is cool. I think a lot of these things. What do we need to know more of here? I think.
What is your last name?
Davis.
So again, are you? Well, no, we're got Tom. And your cool sort of bit of kit is your grandmother's rosary. So you're a good Catholic family. Is that?
Yes, Catholic.
Is that the case?
Yeah.
And what's the name of the church that you go to?
St. Catherine.
Do you have a gig in the church, or do you just go there? You like the choir or altar boy or altar girl? What's your gig?
I can see her in the choir actually, and quite organising in the choir. You know, that's the kind of like she hasn't necessarily got the best voice, and it annoys her. And this kind of like she just hasn't got a great voice, and she works very hard at it. But it's a weird sense that there's a limitation there, and she kind of overcompensates by organising everything else around her.
Are you down with the idea that your friend Olivia is also in? No, it's not your friend. It's Madison's friend, wasn't it?
But I'm certainly fine with her being in the choir.
Yeah, I think she's in the choir, and she's the star or the singer, right? Not soprano, whatever it would be, but she's the one who leads on these in the choir and shows you up. I think quite regularly, just because of sheer talent. There's the one thing that Angelica said. It's not you're a star and everything other than singing. And what's worse is Olivia's now dating your brother. Oh, incestuous.
It is.
Cool. What are some of the extracurricular activities you're in? Are you things like on the school paper or charity works? What's the other things that we might see Angelica doing, as well as suddenly deciding to go and learn?
I would say she is in the computer club. I'd say she's probably in maths club. She is nothing to do with. She's no drama. She doesn't like drama. Her brother does just the drama in any way you choose. And I can imagine her in the athletics. She's not an athletic. You know what I mean? She's that kind of all-round sort of golden child a bit. So it's a kind of I imagine she throws a lot of people because she doesn't really fit neatly into a geek or jock category.
Cool. And we haven't established if Tommy is in Crimson Dragon Dojo, Brock Hunter Action Defense Academy, or somewhere else. And it's your brother. I'd like to give you that call.
I would say the Brock Hunter Action Defense because I do like the idea that Tommy doesn't know about it yet. You know what I mean?
Wow. Cool. Love it. So we're going to put him into the Brock Hunter Action Defense Academy, and then we're going to come across to Madison, played by Jim, as our last character. Jim, can you give us a
Yes, so I am going to be
introduction to
playing.
Madison?
Yeah, I am Madison, Madison Jones. So Madison was a popular student athlete through middle school, but her father's involvement with an embezzlement scheme at the car dealership he worked at cast a dark cloud over the family that resulted in her mother moving out. So she had a couple of bad years. Like it was a rough, like, you know, freshman, sophomore kind of difficult time for her. So she started partying, getting involved with older boys, and like basically managed to avoid entanglement with the law through like luck, the fact that she's a pretty white girl in the suburbs, all this kind of stuff and everything. And, you know, and just like her reputation as a good girl, she carried like a lot longer, you know, through some stuff that you know might have otherwise got somebody else in quite a bit more trouble. After she got in a fight at school, her dad, I think our dad, enrolled us at BHADA at the Brock Hunter Action Defense Academy, kind of like because at least he knew where we would be those 2 hours a day after school, like that kind of thing, right? You know, like it was, and you know, I had to bring my brother with me and everything. And at first, I think I was just like completely like disinterested and sarcastic and all this kind of stuff and everything. And then I had that, you know, like May writing me, you know, to basically say, you know, like if by the end of the week I can teach you to kick through this board, will you give it another week? And I was like, yeah, whatever. Okay. You know, and then we have that like, you know, straighten your leg, you know, lean over your knee, all that kind of stuff. And I just like, bam, like snapped the board in half. And I was like, holy shit. And so it's kind of been like that. Like I keep insisting that I'm doing it like on a lark, you know, that it's just like learning to fight. And plus I have to be here because my brother's here. But really, I think I'm actually really getting into it. Is what's going on. So yeah. And I used to date Tommy. And I think one of the reasons I broke up with Tommy is because like all he could talk about was karate all the time. And like I just like just whatever. So boring. And now I'm like kind of getting into it myself, and I probably feel a little bad about that. But you know, but his sister Angelica is just so smoking hot. And I think that maybe I'm wondering whether like I was only ever interested in Tommy because I knew Angelica. That meant I would have got to see like Angelica when I went to visit him at his house and stuff like this. So it's very confusing right now.
Okay, so a couple of questions there. How do you feel about your BFF Olivia dating Tommy now?
I mean, whatever. That's fine. It doesn't bother me. I mean, I think she's going to find out that I think she's going to get bored with him just like I did. But really, it would be cool to have her like taking these action defense court like classes with me. And cool. I think that she would really like it.
You've answered my next question, which is she in the academy? And the answer is
no, because I've tried to talk because May doesn't want one of my friends with me. I think it's not even necessary that like Olivia.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Like that she thinks Olivia is any particular specific bad influence, but like she thinks that like having me, the fact that the dojo is away from all the school stuff is the thing that is really helping me. and that if we bring in people from that world, it's going to mess with my training. I'll just go back to my old habits.
Wow, and that's the defending champion. He can't be confused by girls. He's got to learn how to break concrete. Hard time.
Sorry, lost a little bit.
Is Madison aware that Tommy is giving Anderson a bad time?
Oh no, I don't think so. No. I mean, Anderson, is that the kind of thing that if it was happening, you would come running to me to tell me, or would you try and keep it under wraps so that I didn't get involved?
I think I want to handle myself. I want to protect you and handle myself after all. So
I totally do not. I have no idea. I think that is going on. Yeah.
Okay. Does anyone have any further questions they want to ask any other character before we roll credits?
Yeah, William, how do you feel about the fact that like our families used to like do like picnics and stuff together, like when we were little kids, like when we were 8, 9, 10 years old and stuff like that, because they were working at the car dealership together?
I mean, I think I avoided your family for several years, and then we ended up in school together, and it was like, wow, Madison is really hot.
Yes. What happened? Oh my God. There we go. Yeah. But I kind of like the idea that we have this idea of who each other are from when we were like 8 years old. Does that?
Yeah. And
not like super close, but like, hey, it's 4th of July. We're all like at the park having a picnic together or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, and Anderson was this annoying little kid, and now he's still an annoying little kid, but a different kind of annoying little kid, a much bigger annoying little kid.
Yeah.
Awesome. Brilliant. I totally encourage flashbacks and narrative framing for scenes, by the way, so do feel free to do that. But with that in mind, let's roll credits and open. It is pointing.
Let me just so one thing I should say, just so that we get to the end. My object, skateboard. So I've got a skateboard. I skateboard around, and the moves that I took are let's go to the mall, which is when when I get somebody alone, I can get them to go somewhere secluded with me. And Legend of the Fox, sort of glance, I can pick out the wealthiest or most influential person in the room, and then get some advantages when I study and kind of work them over. So
I skip my moves. I'll just slam in quickly. I'm a pillar of the community, so I can basically hit up authority figures in that area to get information. My 2 moves are Pinky Swear, which is basically if anyone lies or breaks a promise with me, I gain bonds to them in a variety of other things. In other words, I'm very that character, very into like the word of honor. I've also got Rage of the Tiger, that when I roll a hit against a lesser foe or a duel against a foe of the equal scale, I may radically change the location, for example, through a window, off a cliff. So in other words, it's a character who she's very controlled, but the moves very much speak the level of temper she has.
Don't make her angry. You like it when angry, and quite funnily, Angelica's on the green coloured sheet as well. Right, so any more? Are we good? Are we ready to roll? Opening scene, we see the clock strike on the hour. It is the hour that your dojo does its main class. Brock Hunter, action defense students, what time is it?
It is 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Crimson Dragon Dojo, what time is it?
It is also 3 o'clock. I mean, there's just enough time to get there from school.
Yeah, so it's both post-school classes, not like 5 a.m. up action. Cool. So, Crimson Dragon Dojo, we see you and the rest of the class. You are going through your warm-ups at the front of the class. You are being led by your sensei, Frank Kim. I have this feeling that Frank is not especially tall, but is extremely lithe. And he is leading people through. But what does the dojo look like inside? paint the scene for me. Give me a characteristic of what it looks like, William.
All right, there are a bunch of white mats on the floor. There are like half a dozen big white mats where people do sparring, and on the walls there's a shelf with a bunch of trophies from the All Valley competition. There's none better than second place. Dojo's been around for about 8 years, and there's couple third place trophies. There's one second place trophy, but we've never won the big one. And there are also like photographs on the walls of past students fighting at the competition. And there's a photograph of Sensei when he was our age, and he actually won a competition in Korea. So we do have a championship trophy, but it's from Korea.
Excellent. And Angelica, what tells us here in this dojo that this is a serious CrossFit level type dojo and not one of these fancy ass ones that the other kids are at?
Well, there's a level of lack of deodorant happening. There is the fact that, the white mats, I think the phrase off-white might be, that kind of approach. It's like it was launched 8 years ago, and they had the, I can see the logo being a stenciled red dragon, and it hasn't been repainted since. So it's a red dragon, and it's chipping off like scales. And it's that it doesn't advertise. There's all that because you find this place. It's the kind of thing. It's a word of mouth. You kind of may see it and investigate it. So people, people who found a dragon normally went on a quest to find it. There's that kind of vibe. No one here looks like they're here for fun because no one is smiling.
And I think Kim sort of raises his finger and stops everyone and looks at Angelica. Said, "No. Again, extend the leg."
Yes, Sensei. As I imagine Angelica sort of thinking, I am extending my leg. And I would like to just like flashback to her at home watching YouTube videos of kicks. Because this is kind of like, she's done all her training before by just watching YouTube videos. So a little montage of her learning to kick. And she swears she's got it right, but the person on the video is clearly not doing it right.
He shakes his head again and says, "No, extend your leg." How do you react, William, to this being interrupted?
It's like I look over and it's like, "Come on, Davis, this isn't cheerleading camp." It's like I march over and I stand in front of her and I do the same thing, same exercise that she's doing, but I do it right.
It sounds to me like you're trying to impress the class. So impress is one of the basic moves. You have to impress others, succeed at competition. Describe your performance and role. Well, I think you described it. So choose your element.
I'll go with metal because this is I'm showing control here.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to re-push the roll for the party roller into the dice roller here. Through the chat window.
Okay, and that's a 7.
Boom. So on a 79, on a hit, you impress and convince. Pick 2 options. On a 7 to 9, I offer a complication or a hard choice.
Sure. All right. Well, I'll create a bond with Angelica because it's
cool. On a 7 to 9, I will offer you a complication or a hard choice. So I think as you bring your leg back down, Kim looks at you and says, I was under the impression that I was the sensei in this dojo, Mr. Santini.
I'm sorry, Sensei.
Yes. 50 push-ups, knuckles.
Yes, Sensei.
And we will cut across town to find the Brock Hunter Action Defense Academy. What does it look like from outside, Madison?
It's I think it's in like one of these like high-end upscale strip malls, right? That is like kind of in the United States, they've gone from high-end malls to having these kind of, it's like very fancy stores. But like I think it's like at first glance you might mistake it for like an Apple store, right? It's like gleaming like white and chrome and like big like windows that go the full height of it and stuff like that, but they're like tinted so that like when you're inside you can see out, but from the outside you can only get this kind of, see little bits of motion and stuff like this, and across the top it's got a sign that looks like that's in the font from whatever Brock Hunter's most famous action movie franchise is. It's from the Kill or Be Killed. It's in the Kill or Be Killed font, right? And it says, Brock Hunter Action Academy.
So
And,
I think,
yeah, and whatever, like big double glass doors with like, that you pull open and stuff like this. Yeah.
on the wall where there would be trophies in the Crimson Dragon Dojo, we see here your trophies, but a lot of memorabilia from Rock Hunter's movies as well.
Oh yeah, movie posters and stuff like that. Yeah.
But
And there's definitely, I feel like there's definitely like a great big, like inside, there's definitely like a great big, whatever, like 6 foot wide, 4 foot high video screen on one wall, and a lot of stuff we do is, will be filmed and they'll show it right back to us and stuff like that. And of course, once a month, Brock actually, records an inspirational message for everyone in the academy. And that's a big deal when a new Brock video, they show us one of those.
live class remote from so Anderson, what shows that this is a very different experience from the Crimson Dragon Dojo and much more boutique or hipster in its environment?
First thing first, it's clean,
Mhm.
completely clean. The white is actually white. But there's also extra devices that help you with training and stuff like that. Like, this place looks like it has money to spend on the training, although most of it is just for show and we never use it because no one wants it to break. But and we are a bunch of kids. But yeah, you see like running machines, or I don't know what the karate place will have, like all sorts of standing spots and places you can put your hands on while you train, and
Cool.
it's very filled with stuff.
So this is broken. It's a bigger studio, right? And there's there's 2 or 3 times the number of students here than there are in the. I just minimized my screen there. In the Crimson Dragon, and the class has been broken up into 2 sections. May is dealing with the seniors, who she is running through training and moves in preparation for the start of the year's training for the All Valey Championship. Last year we won, But one of the, as she's sort of taking the seniors through this, she does one-to-one training with Tommy. Tommy is leading the juniors, which sort of involve Anderson. So Madison, there's I think 7 or 8 of you in the senior class. You've got a fair chance of being picked for the team and to compete this year. When we sort of first see you, what does it look like if the camera is to pan around on you?
I think I've got a I've got like a it's not like a, I think it's less like a traditional karate gi. I mean, I think we work out in something that's more like, like a tracksuit, right? That actually has, and it's got like, we've got zip up jackets that go along with it and stuff. Like all of our jackets are hanging neatly on, on pegs on the side right now. But we've got like, I think, like powder blue with like a red stripe down the, down the side or something like that. And I've got like a tank top on, and my hair is just sort of pulled back in a ponytail. I think we don't jerk around with, like, we don't do a lot of jerking around with katas and stuff like this, and like, standing in a line and kicking. Like, we get in there and they're like, partner up. And then we just start, so I am there like running drills with, with someone else in the, one of the other, like whatever, second levels here.
Cool.
Yeah. And we're just like, throwing punches and kicks at each other and blocking and stuff like this. Like, it looks like we're actually having a fight, and there's a bunch of that going on.
You're sort of, I think you're sparring. You're sparring with Vicky Hart, who's one of your rivals for the team, and she sort of takes a step back and looks you up and down, and says, "So, are you going to the party this evening?"
And I make a face, and I'm like, "Of course I'm going to the party tonight."
So you're not going to bring Olivia, are you? She's such a slut.
And I kind of like, and I say, so this is, let me get this straight. This is you calling Olivia a slut.
Yeah.
Okay. And I start like, and I like point at her, and then I start going like this, like counting off, like I'm counting off the guys that she's been with, and I'm like, like I get to 10, and then I look down like at my shoes, like I need my toes to count higher than that.
She takes that moment to sucker punch you, and your leg is swept from underneath you, and you are now dueling someone at an equal scale.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
So, for those of you who are new to Hearts of Wulin, scale matters, right? So if this is someone lower than your scale, you're going to probably just describe how cool your victory is. If it's your same scale as you, there is an equal chance you could lose, right? So these are at equal scale at the moment. So we are going to roll duel, which you choose your mart element, or your element for fighting with. And what does that look like for Madison?
So Madison fights with metal, control, calculation, reflection. Madison likes to, like, Madison's whole thing is antagonizing people until they take a swing at her, like, and then they're like angry and off balance, and she can just take them apart. So like this very thing right at the beginning here is we see Madison like doing her thing. So let me see. Cool. All right. Yeah. So, You mind if I just roll regular dice I got in front of me?
Yeah, you can roll dice. You can roll dice roller. I
Oh,
have
so
no
so
clue.
I'm rolling a +2. Oh man, start things off interesting.
Okay.
That's only a 4.
That is the joy of an opening with box cards.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, that's Snake Eyes, my friend. I'd be happy.
Snake
with
Eyes,
box
sorry.
cards.
Snake Eyes. Okay. So if your phone is on your scale, boom. But if you if they're at your scale and you lose, well, you lose. So you have to rate your loss and take an XP. Isn't that correct? Choose one. No, it's 7 to 9.
Nope.
Loss. Hey, it's a hard move.
Yes, go ahead. Make a move as hard as you like.
Cool. So as you sort of come in, your temper, I think, maybe have got the better of you. As you sort of overextend, she grabs you and flips you onto your back, and then twists your arm. And sort of kneels down with her knee into the small of your back and says, and she's only half the slut you are. And you're going to need to mark, I'm afraid. You're going to need to mark an element. Mark a condition. You
Yeah.
actually lost in a fight. I can't remember if that's you've got to mark your...
Well, up to you tell me.
Yeah. I just reminded myself for a second. It's a duel. You've got. I think you've got to mark your. You got to mark your fighting element. So I think you mark with
Harsh.
Mark with metal as she sort of slams you down, and May does not see the exchange of words, just you being defeated, and she makes a head gesture to Vicky, who steps away and bows to you and extends a hand. Madison.
Extends a hand. Yeah, no. This is where I do my little like legs up and like kip up onto my feet myself. Like without, I don't need her help to stand back up.
And May says, your form is slipping, Madison. Perhaps you should stay on this evening. I hope you didn't have any other plans.
And oh man,
Inner conflict.
Yeah, I think this is inner conflict. I think at this point, yeah, do I talk back to her? I really want to go to this party. Now I really want to go to the party.
You need help. I do have a move that will allow me to help.
Oh, what is it? What do you got?
I have the rage and passion. Roll after someone has embarrassed themselves or offended someone else, basically what just happened. On a hit, if it simply is in the fiction, you may edit or redact something said into the kindest compliment. If it is a failed interaction test, it's long. On a hit, you reduce the effect from the MC hard move to a soft one, depending on the situation, and 10 plus may skip over it completely, like basically just save you from this.
Oh,
That sounds awesome.
we got a move which is a living script change. Let's go.
Go for it. Go for it, little brother. Yeah.
So what do I roll in this? I'm not really sure.
You got to choose the appropriate element. So the element has sort of emotional describers underneath it. So are you doing it with awareness or creativity or caution?
Now, I don't think I'm doing it like knowingly in this case. I think I'll go with fire basically because of the other side of fire, basically reckless, alienating, scattered. So that's a 0. And
So this is a little like maths, right? When you mark a
Mhm.
an element, it's out of use. You can't call upon it. But when it happens, you should be then sort of acting a little like the condition on the other side. It should affect
Mhm.
your emotional balance. But yeah, that makes perfect sense. So that's a flat roll, right?
Yep. So they're really good or really, god damn it, my sister and me. I got it too. In either case, on a miss, you worsen the offense. So what I thought is going to happen is that Tommy, right? Tommy will do something, and I will scream.
Cool. So I think because you're not
So
paying attention and you're looking over, sort of Tommy walks up behind you and sweeps your leg out from under you and says, "Do you think those punks at Crimson Dragon Dojo are gonna be waiting for you to start boo-hooing over your sister? Get up, fight!"
I fall down. I
Uh,
scream like in
and you're going to
pain.
have to mark a condition to represent that, I'm afraid. So mark an element, sorry. So
Yeah.
that's okay. So mark your element.
Mark water.
Mm-hmm.
Uncertain, isolated, depressed, yes. I'll scream in pain, and as I hope that this scream in pain will lead to someone looking and making everything worse. That's basically it. Maybe I'll run to you. No. I just scream in pain, but I give a really big scream, like everyone looks at me. Kind of scream.
And then sort of everyone looks over, and Sensei says, "What's happened over here?" At which point Tommy says, "Anderson lost balance and fell over. Isn't that right, squad?" And everyone sort of looks forward at the wall and not at you, and says, "Yes." How's that making you feel? Are you approaching inner conflict?
I am probably going to just be like you don't see my eyes. I look down and I just kind of say yes, and stand up by myself slowly.
So okay, so I'm gonna when you face an emotional turmoil or pressure of an entanglement or personal issue, I really think you should probably roll in a conflict to see if you can retain your control here, or you do leave crying. Right, that's the sort of scenario you're in. Right, you get an XP for me directing you into that, so that's a good thing.
Okay, so when you come face to face with emotional turmoil and pressure from an entanglement, mark XP and roll anything except your style. 10 blah blah. Okay, so anything except your style. So I will roll. I think I will roll metal. Trying to be in control, basically. Yeah. So which is a +1. Ah, that's better. That's the opposite of 1-1. Oh no, it's close anyway. 7 though. Got a 7. So
on a 7 to 9, you must either flee the scene or mark an element.
I stand up. I'll start saying yes, and then I'll just start running towards there's probably a back area where you get dressed or something, and it's yes, and you see a tear starting time, and I put my hands on my face and I start running into the back.
And we'll close this scene with whatever Madison's reaction is.
Well, I still have to roll inner conflict.
Oh,
yeah. Also, just to be clear, because I failed rage and passion, in either case, on a miss, you worsen the offense, which means whatever offense Madison just did is worse because I just ran out and cried.
Well, I think that has escalated it, right? Because both of you have caused a commotion within 30 seconds of each other, so there'll be a ticking off coming any moment now. But let's see Madison's inner conflict.
All right, I'm going to roll with water because I'm trying to be flexible about going to the this party that I had planned to. Hope you have no other plans this evening, she says to me. And oh, that's an 11 plus 2 gets me to 13. So I marked my XP. Did we all start with an experience point on the board?
Yeah. I think it's a mistake in the character keeper, but I'm not that first. So yeah, it should probably be a.
Oh, they should start. They should be at 0, and so we're at 1 as we get them. Okay, cool. All right.
So yeah, take your XP down by 1.
Excellent. So that's a full hit.
Still in a conflict, so do take your XP, and you are in control of the scene. So what does it look like? 10 plus, you manage to keep yourself together.
Yeah. And you know what? I think I just look her, like May says that to me, and I say to her, I do have plans, but this is more important. And, you know, and I think I say, can I go make sure my brother's all right?
She nods and says, go to the party tonight. Come in an hour early tomorrow. Oh, sorry, stay an hour late tomorrow. So puts her hand on your shoulder just as you're walking away and says, you could be one of the best. Keep your temper in check.
That really hurts. Okay. Yeah, and I just kind of grit my teeth. And you know, and I think I'm looking and you know, the mirrors that line the wall, right? The kind of ballet studio style mirrors. I just kind of lock eyes with Olivia just for a second. And then nod and go walking through the doors into the locker room.
Awesome. Let's come back to the Crimson Dragon Dojo, where you have just finished your 50 knuckle press ups, and the class is just breaking. Angelica, your leg move was corrected eventually. You were not quite stretching your toes far enough, and you realize your balance increased by just that support from your sensei. But whilst you were training, you did spot, say, William doing these knuckle push-ups, and the class is now breaking and dismissing. What do you do?
Well, Angelica's shame, you know, there's elements of shame here, as in it's immediately the fact that that we didn't talk about minor conflicts, but one of them I referenced, which is the fact my grandmother told me to look after my brother. But the other one is, I think Madison's going to finally notice me if I can beat William. Of course, there's a question here, why on earth does Angelica think this? I noticed the thing, Angelica's not great. She's -1 water, so she's not great at awareness. So I was thinking, you know, if Stephen was okay with it, is that, you know, William has a crush on Madison, and I've just completely, I presume, just because I've caught William glancing at Madison, that the feeling must be mutual in one of those kind of situations. So I think that if I can show that, you know, I am absolutely on par with William, that'll be it. But it's just a complete misconception.
Yeah, I am fine with you thinking that Madison and I are more of a thing than we are.
Right. So I'm shamed. My immediate urge is sensei. William was trying to teach me, and I feel that I should carry this. You know, I should take that punishment as well. But can I have permission to do the press-ups as well?
So be it, says Sensei Kim. And says, you can also do 50 press-ups, knuckles. In fact, because you are so shamed, you should do 75. And then you and William can clean the mats before you leave and dust up.
Angelica saying, Angelica really would like to dust up with William, but maybe doesn't see the point of doing it not in front of anybody else. But yes, Sensei, she bows. She's complete. Immediately, it's kind of make. There's actually, I think she was on the border of like going into the emotional area, but the fact that she's been given a strict order, which looks like a punishment, that's something she's really comfortable with. Weirdly, she goes down and starts the press ups as best she can.
And I think William, he had automatically started to clean, but when he hears that we're supposed to share the task, he stops and he starts doing some forms while he waits for Angelica to finish.
Yeah, I'm doing this, and I can't. And Angelica is very much aware that William is there. You know, in fact, it's just the sort of two of them in this, and there's the level of I'm trying to show off the form in that I'm trying to show I could do press ups quicker than he could. I guess.
Look, that means really, though it's not a direct conflict, you're trying to outperform William, right?
Yeah.
So we should treat this like a PC v PC duel.
Oh, that's interesting.
Right? When you challenge another PC, tell them, say what you'll give them if they accept your victory. You may offer unspent XP, character actions, burning bonds, changes to entanglements, let them narrate the moment. If the other player accepts, they lose the duel and mark XP. You must follow through on your offer. If the other player rejects the offer, you both mark an element. So what are you willing to offer William that shows that you are the more capable athlete?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I have no unexpected NPC. Like, I'll let you narrate the moment, which can say that includes the cleaning up.
Do you accept those conditions, William, or do you want to ask for something more, like maybe a bond or equivalent?
No, I mean I'll accept that. So, Angelica is doing these exercises while William is doing these forms in her line of sight, and it's like this. It's photographed in this very soft focus way where it's like it's sort of emphasizing how sexy William is, and then Angelica finishes the 75 push-ups. Like, oh, you're done already, and they do the cleaning. It's William is just a little bit slower than Angelica, and Angelica is pulling ahead. It's like William is so William starts rushing to keep even, and Angelica notices when he didn't clean one of the mats quite right, and William is ashamed and embarrassed, and he snaps at her in front of Sensei, and Sensei is, so you're jealous of our new student? She is very diligent. You could learn from her.
Love it.
Angelica's definitely beaming with pride there in this kind of way. Suddenly, this messy place is definitely quite at home to her. Yeah.
Yeah, love it. Okay, so I think we closed the door on that scene. You both have also been invited to the Andy Parker's party. Her parents are out of town. She lives down in the valley, or up in the valley, right? It should be a good party in a house with a pool. It's where everyone from class is going this evening. Is anyone not planning to go to the party?
I doubt I'm invited, but I think me and friends would just like to bars. Like we just kind of go there anyway because I know where it is and I know that it is.
Hey, well, you raise a good point because I haven't quite fixed it in my head yet. Can people put their character ages next to their character's name? So I've just got that clear in my brain a minute. How old you are?
I got
Yeah.
the feeling everyone is around 17 or 18 or something like that.
Yeah,
Like
but
almost seniors.
I think it's probably still it's a to-do party. So let's establish that everyone's going to head out to the party, right? But this is a longer game tonight, so let's take another little break there. Let's come back for just about 10 to the hour, and then we'll play through and see what shenanigans the characters get up to at the party this evening. So the party is at Andy Parker's, Andy with an I. She is one of the senior cheerleaders, all-American student, young black African-American woman, and daughter of Andrew Parker, owner of Parker's Automotives, where such trouble came to the Davies and the Santinis. But her dad's out of town at a conference, taking her mom and younger brother away because it's close to a big game. She stayed in town, and of course there is a teen rager. So as we shoot down on this scene, we can see the keg, we can see the people cannonballing into the pool, we can see people planning and doing sort of karate kicks, duels at each other on the dive board. It is 16, 17 years old when your parents go out of town. And there's lots of people from, probably 14, 15 upwards right here at a party. It's a big affair. The town, that's why the house is pumping. It's got its own grounds, so and a gate, so you shouldn't have too much trouble. Let's deal with Anderson and Madison first. Are you coming together or are you coming separately?
No.
that was a very definite from Anderson.
Madison does not know I'm here, I hope.
Love it. Are you on your own or are you with anyone?
So you asked me, I'm probably with like two friends from school or something. We wanted to check out the grown-ups party.
So let's have them from your school friends, but let's have them in the same class with you in the dojo, right?
Sure.
Let's have Carl and Stan at the moment, but so yeah, you're quite aware that that you heard that someone had, well, they'd scraped it written it on one of the restroom doors in the school, right? The password at the gate to get in. So you get there and you got to buzz the door. What's the password that you give, Anderson?
What's the password that they wrote down?
Yeah.
It's probably something like foul-mouthed that I will not actually say. Something to do with a male and female genitalia and stuff like that, most likely somehow mixed.
Yeah, you sort of say this, and this teenage kid on the other end of the intercom goes, "Yeah, that's the way your mama likes it." And the gate is then opens as you're let in. So the three of you are in the party. What about you then, Madison? Do you come on your own? Are you?
I think the first shot that we see of Madison is like I feel like there's like a, there's like a big, like this house has like one of those actual like double staircases, right? Like a, like a like a curved double staircase that kind of goes up to the second level and stuff. And, you know, there's like some just like random dude who we're never going to see in the show again going, you know, no way, 20 bucks says you totally can't do it. And I just look at him and I say, get your wallet out, and like kick up my skateboard that was on the, you know, that was on the floor, walk down the hall a little bit, drop it down, kind of squint at the stairs, like, you know, kick a couple of 3 times down the nice marble floor, and then like, you know, kick up and shred the rail, like down around, back down to the first floor to like just like kind of just sort of stage dive into the crowd of all the kids that are down there.
Sounds like you're pulling an impress there to me, young Madison.
Yeah,
Jones.
I definitely am trying to show off here some, I think so. All right, let me see. I think I came with Olivia for sure, definitely. So this is definitely, this is fire. This is just, I'm just being a dumbass here with this. So I'll just roll flat. Let's see what we got here. Oh my. That is a 6. I think I'm gonna spend my bond with Anderson, who's there watching, who probably sees this, to bump it up to a 7.
Legit.
And
So-
yep, complication or hard choice. Here we go.
I tell my friends, like, that's my sister there.
So I think you come off the board into the crowd, but the board itself springs off the step and goes through a window. And there's this whoa from the crowd.
Yes. Okay. I know how to stay ahead of problems. When I would suffer social, legal, or financial consequences, I can name someone and roll.
Sure.
So in this case, I think I'm gonna name. Is William there at the party?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna name him.
And what are you doing? You're putting the blame on William?
So yeah, though not wealthy, you know how to stay out of problems. When you would suffer social, legal, or financial consequences, name someone and roll on a hit. They suffer instead. So any like repercussions that come about as a result of this broken window, I want to come down on William's head. Sorry,
Cool.
Billy's head, because that's what I used to call him when we were kids.
So is this along the lines of like you sort of come off the board and then go, dude, you totally tripped me, and sort of escalating with William? Is that what?
I think this is like a thing where like I come down, the board goes flying. Like I said, I kind of like a bunch of people just sort of like, it's like half trust fall, half they're just packed too tight to go anywhere and get out of my way. And I kind of land on the crowd and the board skids out. And I think this is just a thing where like William is just standing next to the window and the board just shoots right by him, smashes the window. And like, I'm like, William, what the fuck? Why didn't you catch it? And everybody else is like, dude, what are you doing? Like that.
William, how do you react to this?
Well, I got to roll.
Oh,
so
yeah, cool.
There's actually a roll to
Yeah.
see how well this works. So this is definitely, I'm going to roll with water here. This is kind of adapting to the situation as it happens. That's 7 + 2 gets me to 9. Oh, which is perfect. He suffers consequences, but on a 7 and 9, he knows it was me that pinned it on him. Which is kind of what I was hoping for. So
Excellent. So
Yeah.
We see that. So, William, how are you reacting?
I kind of feel like I need to roll inner conflict here.
Go. You roll it.
Yeah, so um I'll roll with water for this.
And the consequences definitely feel social. Like what the fuck, William?
Okay, yeah, and I rolled a 6. So
I think we get that cry of what the fuck, William, and literally you can see about 50, 100 kids just sort of pointing and shouting at you, shouting, "What the fuck, William? What the fuck, William?"
Did you want to spend that bond with me? This seems like a time to do it.
oh, I think it's more interesting to have this catastrophic failure.
Okay.
Cool.
Right, and it's like, yes, this is going to get out. The entire school is by tomorrow. Everyone at school will know that I broke this window at the party, and Madison had absolutely nothing to do with it.
So I say at this point, Andy was standing next to you, Angelica. She's the host of the party. She sort of looks and goes, "What is that criminal, delinquent piece of shit done now?" And sort of is sort of storming away from you, Angelica. Are you trying to stop them, go after them?
Oh, I think definitely go after them. There's this kind of like, I mean, I think the only reason I'm at the party is because I know Tommy's here, and it's that kind of like I know he's up to something, and he's going to explode everything, and I've got to be here. I'd much be rather at home reading a textbook, listening to Vivaldi instead of this noise. I'm very much foreshadowing the inevitable scene when she discovers heavy metal, and storming after them. I could pretty much suggesting I could ask him to leave if you think he's trouble.
So he sort of storms up and is in your face, William, and says, "I said I'd ask you to pay for that, but I know you are broke."
Oh, like this was my fault, Andy. You and so it's like he's bunching up his fists, and it's like,
said, "Wasn't your fault. Just happened to be here." It's like, so you said, you're supposed to be 17. Even that jackass, pointing to Anderson, that kid's more mature than you. Grow up. She says you're just as much trouble as your father.
and it's like he grits his teeth. It's like, it's not the first time a Jones shifted the blame.
Oh. She sort of turns and says, "What did you say? How is your jailbird daddy?"
And I think that's. I think I lose my temper a bit, and I just shove her a bit.
So she is below your scale. So if you want to engage her, it will be deal with douchebags.
Sure.
So because when you shove her, it sort of escalates, and a number of the jobs try to roll in, but they're nowhere near as good as you.
Right. And I rolled an 11, so it's like I shove her. A couple of her friends try to intervene, and I just block them. It's like they aren't even able to touch me, and it's like one of them lunges at me. I just step aside, and I just push them a bit, and they go sprawling, and I just storm away, leaving them in confusion behind me.
Sort of cry of, "Yeah, you run, pussy."
What did you say? Turn around.
Oh.
You want a piece of me?
I think you are hearts and minding the.
Sure, and let's go with water again. a 9.
You want to burn a bond with maybe Angelica who's watching on to put this into a 10.
Sure, let's make it a let's make it a 10. And it's like people leave me alone, but along with the story about my breaking a window, there are going to be stories in school the next day about how half a dozen kids jumped me and I just trashed them.
So as the kids are sort of pulling away from you, going, "Yeah, all right, psycho." You sort of Tommy puts his hand on your shoulder, turns and looks you up and down, and puts a beer bottle in your hand. Says, "You're all right."
That's
If we burn if Stephen burnt my my bond, does that mean I get to say how the bond was, how I helped, or was that like?
No, not so much as it in
So
like
it's
a
much more
mask
like
on your part of a team. It's sort of that you being present would do that. If you'd like to add, I'm really happy that if someone wants to add. So if I look at the bond is currency you can spend to 8 others will spend after you. Each bond has a name and a number. When you burn or spend it, you lower that by add 1 and add +1 to roll. It doesn't destroy a connection. You just use the emotional energy from it. So it doesn't work like Team does in Masks or something like that. But I have absolutely no issue if you want to describe what that looks like in the background. Because I think that's
cool. I just had the image of like her saying something, "Steve, you can't threaten these people. Your hands are deadly weapons. You know this." And it's kind of like, he's trying to intimidate them, and me trying to calm it down actually makes his intimidation better.
Love it.
Yeah. It's like, and I mean, Tommy and I, we've come to blows a couple of times because over Anderson. But it's like I look at him, I size him up, and he's clearly not a threat right now. So it's like I nod a bit and like All Valey's coming up in a few months. You think you can keep your championship?
And you think you're going to take it from me, Santini?
Could be.
He sort of does that lurch forward as if he's about to hit you and says, "You're all right. You're all right." Yeah. You got the fire inside you, man. Maybe. I'm going to look forward to fighting you again. And you can take a bond with Tommy. Anderson, you just saw this exchange of smiling and camaraderie between and Tommy. Tommy even gave William a beer.
Gross. So me and my friends, like as I see it, I get like a little angry inside, and I'm like, okay, let's wreck this party. So, smiling proud wanderer, you're just here to have an adventure and sole excuse to see the world. Once per scene, you may ask one question from study without rolling.
Yeah.
Let's see. Like I assume there's like a place where all the alcohol is held.
Oh yeah, it's in the kitchen. The table's out. There's a keg. There's a couple of kegs, right?
But maybe there's like, maybe there's a couple of kegs in the kitchen, but is there like more somewhere hidden?
Oh yeah, I mean, the medicine, the liquor cabinet. All 3 of us know how to break into the liquor cabinet.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like we all know how to use a safety pin to jigger the lock.
That's where the good stuff is, right? What's basically here is cheap spirits and kegs of beer. But Andrew Parker has solid single malts, which are like $100-$200 a bottle malts, sort of in his drinks cabinet. The good Scotch whiskey. Scotch whiskey.
So I kind of look at my 2 friends, which I named Chen and Martin. They're both guys. And I'm like, are you guys ready for like the better stuff.
Yeah.
So let's go get them. And we'll kind of try to sneak in unseen and get to the good stuff and take a lot of them.
Cool. So we have issued a change of the game stakes. In fact, you've got a free study, and you can spend 1 for 1. So I think, yeah, you can declare something that changes or adds to established fiction significantly. And I believe you don't need to roll. That's just the use of your ability. You jimmy the drinks cabinet lock, and you get out the good whiskey, right? If you know, for anyone who knows a whiskey, there is 10, 15s, 20s, all single malts, including single casks that come out. This is Mr. Parker's whiskey library, which he spent 10 years. He spent 10 years dealing with it. The one with 40 on the bottle you take out and take a swig, and God, it tastes vile. But
Of course it does.
for my 40th birthday, I had a 40-year-old whiskey, just 1 dram, and it was about the price of a bottle, right? But this stuff is like this is about probably a couple of $1,000, and you've just gone swag with it, and it's
Yeah, and it's gross.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking,
mix it with Coke, man.
and I look at my other friend, I'm like, how do I get back at Tommy?
Okay. I'll leave you to think about that, because your friends are going like, it's like, maybe we can pin this on him. Maybe we could push him in the pool. Let's get him in the pool, man.
Ooh, that sounds like a good idea. What about? Do you think he'd like this shit?
Goes, it's the posh stuff. He's bound to like it.
Yeah, I'm thinking of spilling it out, filling it with something else.
I think that would be totally awesome. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's fill it with something else. Let him drink it.
He's like, when he pushed you over, man, that just wasn't cool. I'm sorry we didn't stand up for you.
Yeah. I know. But we'll kick his ass.
Cool. Angelica, you spot Madison across, speaking to someone in the party. You've probably, Madison, gone to at least reclaim your skateboard. One of the football dude bros, who again we won't see again, so we won't name them, is doing that, leaning on the wall, showing you their muscles, and has a plastic cup full of warm beer, but he's trying to look cool while doing it.
Like Angelica, just desperately looking for an excuse, just walks up and interrupts Madison to say, "Have you seen Tommy around?"
What? Wait. Angelica? Why are you even here? Isn't there some kind of test tomorrow?
Yes, and I've done the revision in advance. Like, anyone who does revision on the night before the test is not sufficiently prepared, as you know.
How about if you do it like in the 5 minutes before the test?
And Angelica's always getting a panic attack at the very idea of this kind of way. As you can imagine, like, Angelica gets a lot of stress dreams. That's the image I want to get. So, Madison, I don't understand how you can be here talking to this object, gesturing at the football player.
Oh,
Dwight. My name's Dwight. We're like chemistry
this...
together. That's cold.
Oh, yeah. This is Dwight.
Dwight, are you revising for your chemistry test?
Wait, there's a test?
Dwight's got a motorcycle, I say.
Madison, there is more to life than motorcycles and bad boys.
And I would like to study her, like, to get an idea of what's going on here.
Yeah.
Like, why she is talking to me. That is, like, seriously, I'm surprised to even see her here. So When I study in a formal or official setting, and in this case, like I feel like a party is a formal or official setting.
It is, yeah. I
kind
agree.
of setting that I basically have angled this for. So I have +1 hold for choices regardless of how I roll, and then I gain +1 forward when I act on the answers. So I'm going to go ahead and make my study roll here. I'm going to roll with. Oh yeah, this is water. This is like awareness. I'm like kind of like looking around. Oh, that's a 10 + 2 is a 12. So I think that's like 3 things, right? All right, so
It's 2 hold, I think. Actually.
well, 2,
two holds.
but because I've got this, I've got that move.
I can't do math.
I've now got 3, so that's it. No, you're right. Normally it would be 2, but I've got that
Yeah,
special
special
move
move.
that gives me the 3rd one. So, question about a person, which is, are you having any actual fun right now, Angelica?
I was about to say, just to make sure I understand, all the questions in character or are they what you observe?
So it's ask a question about a person.
Okay.
So it's this kind of thing where like we have a conversation as players, but like this is my character picking up on like whatever the vibes your character is giving out, or it can be something that happens as a result of conversation or whatever. But it's, you know, it's like this kind of thing.
I think the question you definitely get is like you just like you're not quite sure Angelica ever has any fun.
Yeah.
But but what she is excited and annoyed is the best way of putting it.
Okay.
You know, kinda,
sure.
It's like maybe you know part of it is she's enjoying it. Yes, she's enjoying this right now, certainly.
All right. Question about a situation or place. So this is like a big party and stuff like that. Where could we go if we wanted to be? If I wanted to be alone with her, where could we go?
There's like a gazebo. There's a garage where the cars are kept.
Oh my God!
There's enough grounds to have a walk through.
Okay.
I love the gazebo.
There's even a carp
Sure.
pond.
Yeah. Okay. Gazebo. All right. So you like the gazebo? And I'm going to reveal a detail, which adds or establishes to the changes or adds to the established fiction significantly. And what was our football player's name?
Dwight. And
I say, so Dwight, have you got it? And he hands me like a big fat bag of weed.
Cool.
And he kind of like does one of these, and walks back into the party, and I kind of like do this like in front of Angelica, like I hold up the bag of weed.
Dwight got more interesting, so you can have a bond with Dwight, who's the football player.
Oh, sure. Yes. Yep. Mm-hmm. Dwight.
You're muted.
Dwight the dealer. It's even alliterative. In this
Yes.
kind of,
Yeah. Okay. Pot dealer.
I'm gonna give a bond on Dwight to Angelica because you really did hurt his feelings that you didn't know him. It's like, it's in chemistry. I copy off your homework all the time.
Oh, and we know why he's taking chemistry now. So
more biology,
Yeah.
hydroponics, right?
Yes.
Cool. Yeah. So we can sort of have you, walking away, and we'll.
I'm not walking away.
So both of you walking off. I mean, yeah.
Well, this sounds like an inner conflict moment for me. In the sense, like she's offering me weed. At the
There's a
same
test tomorrow.
Literally hard cut to my parents saying don't do drugs at every point in my life. Like it's literally that it's me in like kindergarten, it's me in primary school, it's me on the soccer team, like running off the soccer team. Don't do drugs. Any situation. Don't do drugs. Hard cut to Madison, a chance to stand alone with Madison, and it just looks like some herbs. How bad could it be? So like the
roll that in a conflict.
Mark XP and roll.
Yeah.
And I will roll with.
I'll put an XP on for you.
What we got? Thank you. I almost want to roll with water, but that feels like.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. But well, wisdom is one of these things. Actually, roll with metal because it's control. Abstractly, I'll be trying to stop doing it. But and 4.
So, on a fail, on a miss, mark XP. Have another point of XP, and the GM makes things much worse. And I'll make it much worse in a little while. But let's hold my hard move and cut to. Let's cut to William with Tommy. Tommy's just sort of like sunk a bottle of beer, and is now sort of like the kids who are trying to outdo each other on the dive board. It's quite a high dive board, like this is quite a big pool. He sort of goes, "I'm getting in on that. You coming?" And he starts climbing up and going, "I'm the All Valey Champion," swinging a bottle of beer. No one can topple me. I think everyone can hear this because he's doing the King Kong impression on the top of the dive board.
And I'm like, not for long.
He's going like, yeah, I knew you had it in you, Santini. Come on. And he's sort of bouncing on the board up and down, taking his stance.
Yeah. It's like I climb up the other end of the board. This is the perfect location for a duel.
Yeah, and he's looking at you, and everyone's going like, "Whoa, look at them!" It's like those two are both psychos. Who's the most psycho? I guess we find out. I go, I bet Santini's got a knife. I bet Tommy's got a gun. And money starts changing hands as you sort of standing up there, and he's going, yeah. And he sort of takes his face, scratches, sort of stretches his fingers, takes a stance, and he goes, "Come on then, Santini. Let's see your cut price karate."
And I'm placing my feet carefully. It's like this is unstable ground, so I'm being particularly careful with my footing. It's like I need to be solid but flexible.
I mean, what's playing on the soundtrack right now is what I want to know.
That's a good question. I'll put the beats of this to a song.
Something nervous.
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, I'll have a think. Yeah, the crowd downstairs is watching. It is awesome. And he says, "Don't worry, kid. We can we can make each other look good to start with, and then we can get it serious." Said, "I'll give you a good show. Let's make it look good. Let's get you laid tonight, man." He's giving you an option to impress the crowd, not to beat him, but to put on a show before this turns into a full duel.
Yeah, and I'm absolutely fine with that. Make it look good before we start fighting seriously.
Cool.
Just do some really showy stuff with blocks and really fast with really fast strikes and kicks and stuff on this narrow board.
So, would you like to move to an impress then?
Yeah. And this is I'm going to roll this with fire with my style element because this is definitely a fire thing. This is speed. This is passion. This is showing off. And that's an 8. So
you get to first of all pick 2, create from create a bond, clear an element, or gain a favor, and that'll offer you a complication or a hard choice.
right, I'll create a bond with Tommy, and I'm not sure who to create a favor with because it's like Tommy is doing me a favor, but
sort of NPCs that we have in the scene include Olivia, Andy Parker, Carl Stan, and Dwight. So there's plenty around. Do you want a favor with Olivia or Dwight the dealer? Maybe Carl's going to slip you the good whiskey.
Actually, Olivia makes sense because she's his boyfriend, and if he's going along to, or
right.
sorry,
Yeah,
she's his girlfriend. Yeah.
Yeah, so Olivia will owe me a favor because I made her boyfriend look good.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this my boyfriend looks so hot right now.
Okay, so as you sort of doing a flip and you come in and it starts to escalate, what you know is the Rolex goes off your wrist and down into the pool below.
Oh.
And then you enter a duel at somewhat a higher scale. The duel is above your scale. You lose the conflict, but on a hit, you may declare how you lose.
All right. So yeah. So rolling fire again, and that is a 5. It's like I am so distracted by the watch going flying that, I mean, I don't just beat him. I don't just beat him. I'm fighting much worse than than I was just an instant earlier, and he just destroys me.
This is a full-on Van Damme roundhouse kick, right? He's up in the air and around. He socks you on the side of the face, and you go sprawling down into the water. You're knocked halfway sideways, and it's trying to see in the water where the watch has gone, but obviously it's a marking element. But yeah, that's not been a, yeah, he looks like he might be in a bit of trouble down there. Tommy's up top sort of celebrating, hasn't realized how hard he's been kicked. Anyone acting?
I'm waiting until Tommy comes back down.
Yeah, you're waiting for that. But is anyone acting for William, who is probably sort of face down, being a bit dazed in the water?
He's been befriending the person he shouldn't, so no.
Okay. So you're sort of fishnetted out once sort of Tommy comes down and he realizes, oh dude, man, I didn't really hit you that hard. He said, I thought I knew that cut price karate shit wasn't going to be up to the stuff that Brock teaches us. Maybe next year, hey, you should transfer to this school.
And it's like William is he wants to talk back, but all he can do is just groan.
Yeah, I think we'll cut from that scene. And Anderson, Tommy sort of, Tommy is down now. What are you doing?
Yeah. So I bring the bottle, now filled with something that isn't the thing it was supposed to be filled with. We'll leave it to imagination what it's filled with.
Yeah.
Something terrible. And I'm like, I give it to to some person to give it to him. I don't want him to know it was me.
Yeah, it's like, yeah,
As a win.
real whiskey for the champ. Real whiskey for the champ. Yeah, woo! And then in this moment when he realizes what he's drinking, and we see it sort of spit out into the air, and he's sort of looking around, going like, "Who did this? Who did this?" And I think he spots you, and he goes, "You punk!" And he starts running towards you.
What would that be?
to what? Sorry, what do you want to do?
Yeah, I'll start running, like, basically. Don't know if that counts as a duel anyway, because he would easily catch
No,
up.
that's overcome if you're just trying to escape.
Yeah, and that's it. I was just going to check. So checking any of your, roll after someone has embarrassed themselves or offended someone else on a hit. Where you made it?
Oh, that's my
Yeah,
special
that's not
move?
that.
No, that's not
I
that.
don't think it's that. But yeah, I think it is. I think you've just pulled an overcome, right? So
Okay.
If you roll on the overcome, you can get away from him and disappear into the crowd.
So let's see, when you do something under pressure, okay. On a 10 plus, you do it. 79 complication. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. I'm going. This was all done in planning. I didn't expect to be caught that fast, but I planned all of this. This was patiently waiting. I'm gonna use wood. Which is +1. I don't have a +2. And I get, that's 6, 7, 8. So that's a 9. But a 9 isn't good enough for me. So I am going to burn the bond with William. A terrible explanation for that is as it comes out, like, and the drink, that disgusting drink passes on, it gets like a taste. Burning the bond quite literally. So that's full success. So all the three of us probably run the shit out of that party.
And you can have a bond with Tommy, right? Because this got grudge serious now. He's gonna kick your ass. And before I shift the lens on this scene, as you're sort of coming around and someone's put a towel around you, Olivia, she's in her underwear because she's been in the pool. She sort of gets out William and sort of kneels down in front of you and puts the watch into your hand and say, "Hey, I know how important this is to you. You okay?" And let's cut that scene to the gazebo with Angelica and Madison.
Yeah, and I've got I've got a pipe, and I'm packing a bowl, and I kind of like I've got it out, and I pull up my Bic. And I'm like about to light it up. And like before I even do, like I stop and I look at her and I go, "You've never done this, have you?"
It's like, there's moments like she tries to think about lying, which is not necessarily what she's good at. And she kind of just makes a noise, which could mean yes, could mean no. It definitely means we've hit a part of the conversation where a noise is required.
Okay. And so I say, all right, so look, just take a little bit and then take the pipe out of your mouth, just take it into your mouth, then breathe it in, because you're going to cough like crazy, and I don't want you to do it and mess up this bowl that I have packed for us here. So, all right, and I kind of hold it up to my lips and take a little, a little puff, and I like exaggeratedly like chipmunk cheeks, and I kind of hold it out, and then I go, and then like, blow it in a jet out my nose. And then I hand it to her, and it's got a little bit of my like, whatever, like raspberry lip gloss on it when I hand it to you.
Now, the problem is Angelica was trying to pay attention because she's just really good at focus. And that, unfortunately, this involved like an object touching your face. So she was basically just staring at your lips and thinking, Madison has amazing lips. As in, what lip gloss does she use? Oh, what's that? I've lost track. I think I have to put it in my mouth and... okay. I'm sure I've got it. This is definitely hard. This is definitely easier than calculus. I'm sure I can nail this. I
think you'll be fine. And I'm actually comforting or supporting her here right now. Because she's very clearly like freaked out about being at this big party. So I'm trying to like help her relax and enjoy it. So I'm gonna roll with wood. Patience. I'm being patient with her. Not normally inclined to do that, but I will roll with wood. So I got a flat roll here. Oh, and that's a 9. Let me see. You know what? I've got a bond with her, so I'll spend it to get it to a 10.
Excellent. So on a 10 plus on a... So on a hit, they accept your kind words, can clear a check element or gain a bond with you. On a 10 plus, you may additionally clear an element yourself and ask a question they must answer, or you gain a bond with them.
And this is definitely, as I'm handing it to her, like, that like the kind of like strings from Take Your Breath Away by Berlin start to kick in as I hand it to her and stuff like that. Do you accept my words?
Oh, definitely.
All right. Okay.
How could I refuse?
So you can clear a checked element or gain a bond with me.
I'll gain a bond with you, actually.
And do I want to gain a bond or ask a question she has to answer? Ask a question she has to answer is very tempting.
Or clear your metal element.
Oh, that's right. I can clear an element. I'm going to do that. I'm going to clear my metal so that I can actually fight. Thank you for reminding me that. Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. So and I hand it to her, and I'm just grinning as she's like handling it like it's radioactive. I just think that's so funny.
Yeah, it's just kind of that approach. And it's at that moment, it's most of the moment where they get the emotional connection. She kind of just says like the thank you in that kind of like this isn't easy for me, and everything's easy for me. She actually does it like, I don't think it's something we need to roll. She does it pretty much right. Like she's paid attention. You've calmed her down. She gets through it. And she said before, it's like, everything's easy for me. And actually, after she hails, she goes, no, that's a lie. Everything is hard for me. I just keep at it. And I was going to say, like, look, she's done it perfectly, but her resistance is nothing. Like, this is... Sorry, David.
No, you finish. You finish the description. I'll pick up once you've done that.
I think the house, her resistance is nothing, and it starts to hit her hard. And she does a very small giggle. No one has ever heard Angelica giggle.
Then I do feel mean about calling in that hard move now, and there's this moment where you smile,
and
there's a moment of projectile vomit as we close the scene, and we see the look on Madison as she is covered in something less than savory.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that Angelica throwing up?
Yeah, Angelica's just thrown up all over Madison.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I just picture this. It's a very winsome smile, and then beautiful.
Okay, look, I think all of your characters have fundamentally the position they're exiting the party at this point. We've established them and established the position. I think I am going to effectively roll credits on that, and we'll come to end of session move for the game. Oh, Arise, is there something you want to do?
One scene between Anderson and Madison back at home.
Sure.
As she comes into the house, like I kind of crawl, like, or quietly walk through, and I'm like, we shouldn't keep blaming William's family for things.
What the fuck are you talking about?
You know what I'm talking about.
Wait a minute.
And I kind of melt away into my room.
Okay.
Oh, and tell Tommy it's shit.
Yeah, and like and you know, and he runs, and I'm just kind of looking at him like nodding like, "Oh, okay, that's how it's going to be." Like I have realized, like I've figured something out about him.
Any closing remarks? Then roll credits. So at the end of session, what we're looking for here is have you hit your entanglement. Your highlighted entanglement is worth 3 XP to you if you've hit it, and your other entanglements is worth 1 XP if you've hit it. And we'll go in character keeper order to see if we think we have done so. William, I think.
Yeah, I hit both my entanglements.
Yeah, I think so. Damn skip you did, and you rolled into them, so I love that totally. So get yourself some. It is 3 and 1, isn't it? Was it 2 and 1? 3 and 1.
2 and 1, I
2 and
think,
1.
actually.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Anderson.
Mm-hmm. Well, certainly the bullying shit. But I don't know about the first one. I don't think we were even there for long enough.
Yeah, I think that's because we need to bring Angelica and May together for that to happen, which I'll make sure we do next time, right?
Yeah, so that's +2, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
So 3.
Angelica. Well, Madison finally noticed you, so I'm going to say you. I still think that's a hit, right? But
You're muted, Kieran, if you're talking to us.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, as in like, it's a 2-section pot. I did beat him, and she did notice me, but they're not connected in any any way. Unless it's like something more abstract in terms of like, you know, she understands the pair of them a bit better now, having seen more of it. Like,
I'm happy with that. I think you definitely hit it and leaned into it on both sides. I'm not entirely. Did you hit the other one?
No, definitely not. Yeah. I mean, I did have. If I managed to step in later with the Anderson's thing of bullying, that's would have hit that. But no, I definitely didn't hit it.
You were busy doing drugs.
Yeah, I was too busy being led astray.
Yeah. Madison, how about you?
I feel like I definitely hit both of them. So I used to take like a big scene with Angelica and getting into it with May over tempers and going to parties and stuff like that. That definitely happened too. So I feel like both of those came into play.
All right, gang, let's do a round of stars and wishes. When we pick back up, some time will have passed, so to speak. But let's go from the top. Kieran, do you have any stars you want to hand out?
Stars for everyone reminding me to turn the sound back on. You are definitely all stars and appreciated. Like first stars to David for actually just putting this together. As you say, it's a hack, and it kind of like it simultaneously. I have not played Wulin, but it's one of those things that you can see the heart of what that system is and how well it applies to also, you know, a heavy metal 80s teen drama. Stars to everyone. I do love the characters. Eris, I just wrote this note that I think the single funniest thing said in the session was "a beer, gross," which is the perfect 14-year-old expression, and there's like all that kind of energy. You know, there's so much like 14-year-old energy, and it's great to have all the 17-year-olds and someone slightly younger being the troublemaker. Stephen, William was like, I just feel sorry for William. You know, he's like, he's interesting because he's the bad boy, but he's simultaneously also clearly put upon by the entire world. And it's like I have so much sympathy for him, and it's great. It's just great seeing that come across. Madison is a fascinating monster. Honestly, the moment bringing drugs into it is this kind of like, oh right, now I'm literally being led astray by her. That was all delightful. Thanks so much. Wishes.
Stars first, then celebrate, and then through to wishes. That's my preference. Sorry, Jim, can I get you to do stars next?
Yeah, I'll echo the stars for putting this together, David. Like, I feel like if you all you did was tweak a few things, but like turning deal with troops into deal with douchebags, like is, like, and the fact that like the kind of Bravo I am is like the Valley girl is totally like that is just that little change in emphasis and kind of tweaking the names a little bit definitely gets me in the the headspace for this, and so that was really wonderful. So thank you. I loved Anderson. My favorite moment was like your two like nerdy friends going, "Oh, sorry we didn't stick up for you, man," and you're like, "Yeah, whatever." Like, I was not expecting that was going to happen, and that was great. Like, I could definitely picture that moment, in my head there. William, definitely like the aggro vibe is just coming off of you, like I see you like, and like the perfect, and like you're coming across as someone who Madison would have put the blame on anyways, just because you're so like tightly wound all the time, not even necessarily because, and like the idea that like you're going to be walking down the hall the next day and like people are going to be going, "What the fuck, William? What the fuck?" as you walk down the hall is just, it's just perfect. And yeah, and Angelica is like the perfect, like, like she is, I kind of love the fact that she is like the Archie character that has somehow ended up in our, R-rated teen drama, which is just fantastic. And I'm really looking forward to seeing her getting pulled in all kinds of different directions. And it was very cool to, to be able to play off of that, like just right from the jump. So, yeah.
Neat. Let us go to Erez.
Yeah. So first, start David. I didn't know if I would like this idea of doing like an 80s teen fighting thing, but it's being fun, so that's amazing. And yeah, all the characters were fun. This just wasn't William's day. Like, basically, it was the worst day ever for him. Angelica is perfect, but she ended up the session in like doing drugs and puking it out. And Madison is just destroying everyone. So someone will have to. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Stephen?
I think I'm a brother.
Yeah, I mean, stars to everyone who drew me into conflict with them. I mean, the duel with Angelica and then the conflict with Madison. And I loved the duel on the diving board. I always love these martial arts duels with these weird constraints, weird formats, and stars to the dice for making me fail at such crucial moments.
Awesome. And yeah, thanks to all of you for leaning in so much to the premise. I had fun hacking it. A big star to Jim actually, because it was playing his game early in the year that I was like, I want to hack this game. I really like the idea of it. So this is my love letter to Jim's Scott Pilgrim game. So thanks to Jim, and actually thanks to Kieran, because the reason I played in that is Kieran was a late drop, so I got to play. Right, yay. So it feels fortuitous that you're both here. I love all of your characters, and I love what you've brought tonight. The Valley Girl, trying to outdo each other in the dojo. William trying to count coup and getting broken down for it. you know, and Madison losing her temper and then leading Angelica astray. But my bigger star is Anderson for stealing the whiskey and sticking it to Tommy through that. That was like, that is
Didn't even drink it.
action movie. That is like so in the genre. It blew my mind. Awesome. Right, let's go back with a round of wishes. I like you to think about wishes, things we'd like to see next time, more of, less of, things you're really looking forward to trying to hit. I found it very useful for me to prep the next session, so it is useful to me. So I'm going to go in reverse order. Stephen, have you got any wishes you want to bring?
Yeah, well, I'd like to interact with Anderson since I didn't get to do that this session, and I'd like to interact with Madison in trying to hit on her way. See how that goes.
Cool.
Right, and more conflict with Angelica.
Awesome. Erez, any wishes?
Just one. I want the things with Tommy to escalate further.
I think that's definite, right? I think that's going to escalate and lead into a position where you know, Tommy becomes the bad guy, or
maybe Anderson does. We'll see. But yeah.
maybe you were the bully all along, and poor Tommy has just got ADHD, and you keep picking on him, man. Jim,
We've had a party. I think we need to have a dance. And yeah, and definitely looking forward to, you know, mixing the characters up more and having them, you know, get involved with each other and stuff like that. I definitely want to have some scenes like where I'm like actually like interacting with Anderson like as my brother, and not just like he's tagging around after me or trying, you know, not to be seen in places where I am and stuff like that.
I'm thinking dancing but I also want some more fighting. Kieran, any wishes?
Yeah, the dance-off come fight-off seems inevitable, and I look forward to that. I would like interacting with Tommy in this way. There's lots of stuff in terms of, like, and the stuff Anderson did to Tommy at the gig and all that kind of stuff. That seems very fruitful. I'm really looking for the fact I've been bad makes me want to be very guilty about that. That's the kind of that's the thing about like the character. I think she's more passive than I'd like, and this isn't now actually giving her stuff to bounce off and get into people's faces more, which would be nice. And I'm looking forward to hopefully her end of Grease moment where she decides to wear leathers for something.
Literally Sandra D just sort of not Sandra D, yeah, it just sort of boom, it goes. It just like,
tell me about it, stud.
Yeah, awesome. So yeah, I think we need to mix it up a bit, and yeah, maybe a drama of a school dance or a dance organized by the church and the community. There's things we can do around that. That gives me a nice framing for next time. I want to explore why Olivia decided to get back William's watch when no one else would. I think that's going to be fun. I do think Tommy's got to come through on that. Erez, I just added you another bond for Andy Parker because you stole her dad's whiskey, and I think that's going to come back to haunt you as well, right? But I think, I think we filled the world quite well tonight. I won't try to introduce too many NPCs. Some of them might fade away, right? But it's been fun. We've got a good character. The hack has worked quite well, and I look forward to exploring further in this fun teen drama world. Week after next, okay, because we're not playing next week, so I'll see you again a week after next again for another 3.5 hour session. So we're still going to get close to probably 4 good sessions really from normal gauntlet time. Awesome, gang. Thank you so much for your energy and enthusiasm tonight, and I'll look forward to playing with you in a couple weeks time.
Good night, guys.
Night, gang.